Okay, so the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is the only successful black sitcom in the world. 200 episodes, 8 seasons, and it portrayed African American people in a very positive way. Most in the 70s, you had Sanford and Son, Good Times, The Jeffersons was all racist. Those shows were degrading. Different Strokes, even Different Strokes was racist too. They had some racist episodes. The Cosby Show did not deal with racism. There was only one episode that dealt with racism. The episode one did not talk about racism. It talked about everything else. It talked about life problems, kids, rebellious kids, kids getting expelled from school, kids dropping out of school, kids getting drunk. It talked about a whole bunch of other issues that people go through in life. But it talked about people getting married without their parents knowing about it, sneaking out the house, all that stuff. Teen pregnancy, all that. It talked about a lot of a lot of stuff. But teenagers going to nightclubs, but it did not tackle racism. But there's only one episode that dealt with racism was when Claire goes on a talk show, and then a white guy says, "We'll talk to you." She was getting rejected by these two white guys, so they were talking about something, and then she tries to give her 2 cents in. She tries to give her opinion, and then they say they rejected her by saying, "We'll get to you when we get to the black topics." That was the only episode. I don't know what it was. I think it was in season 5 or 6. With that was the one of the only episodes that dealt with racist. That was the racist, because that means when a white guy tells a black woman she can't, that you can only talk about black things, you can't talk about anything else but besides, your African culture. That's racist. But the Cosby Show was very successful, and it had you had Theo, the slacker. You had Rudy was the youngest. He was the baby of the family. You had Denise, the eccentric girl who wore weird clothes, and she was weird, and she was a light skinned girl. She was pretty wild, dating all these guys and stuff, and she's a typical teenager. Then you had Sandra. You never see her. She was a light skinned girl. She was in college. She married Elvin. Elvin was the light skinned guy. He was kind of sexist. He was always getting into arguments with Claire. And then you had the most realistic black girl, Vanessa. Vanessa was always getting in trouble, sneaking out of the house, going to concerts, putting on makeup, getting drunk. There was episodes when she gets drunk. I don't even drink. She started drinking, and then she was doing, 16 years old. You know, um, she was always getting in trouble, sneaking out to going to the movies. She wasn't, she actually had somebody sneak her to the movies to see an R-rated movie when she was 11 years old. So she did some pretty bad things. She was not her and Theo were pretty wild, and Denise were the most real. Judy, Rudy, they're all rebellious. But the show didn't really tackle about racism. I thought they should have had maybe more episodes that dealt racism. Um, but the show didn't really want to tackle racism. And Bill Cosby was very iconic. He wanted to make a TV series that showed African Americans in a positive way, because most times in the past, in 1970s, most sitcoms, you have Good Times, they show poor black people in Chicago, Cabrini Green projects, and then you have the San Francisco showing black people in Los Angeles who are poor, two black men who are poor and they have no life. They're out there selling junk to people. Different Strokes, a white guy, or a white guy uh, takes in two black orphans off the streets and try to give them a good life. Like I said, and there were episodes in the show that dealt with racism. Jefferson's was the most racist episode because you had George Jefferson using the N word, the H word, calling racial slurs was on that show. It was a good show, but pretty racist. It lasted almost 12 years. The show lasted from 1974 to 1984 or something like that. It lasted 11 seasons, 250, almost 250 episodes. That's a lot of, it lasted a long time. And it was, like I said, but the Cosby Show did good. They brought in Pam, which kind of, the show started getting weird. Started losing ratings. They brought in Pam for season 7 and 8. When, she was like the sassy black girl, from teenager. And then Theo graduates from college. Denise drops out of school. Raven Simone, the girl who played on That's So Raven, was on the Cosby Show. Um, Also, the girl that played Denise, she was fired. Lisa Bonet was fired because her and Cosby didn't get along on the set of the show. Cockroach, Theo's friend Cockroach was fired in season 4 because Bill Cosby wanted him to get a haircut. He didn't like his hair. He didn't want to get a haircut, so he was fired. So Bill Cosby was a very strict guy. I love the show. Mr. J here, peace.